Hi, my name is Eric Kim, and I am the youth representative of the Korean Veterans Association. What I plan to do is I want to spread the message of the Korean War to a lot of the fellow peers and younger generations, because I feel like they're not as educated about the Korean War and the many American athletes. They ask what your name is.
George Errington.
And did you serve in the Korean War?
Yes. I was an assistant gunner on a light 30 machine gun. I was there February to July 53, near the end of the war. When I went to enlist, in the Navy. But the Navy guy wasn't there, so the Marine Corps guy was there, all looking very, very beautiful. And we talked about travel, and I grew up poor, and I wanted to help my mother out, and I wanted to learn something. I was young, I just graduated from high school, and college was not in my future at that point. So the military seemed like a good way to have a job and also see the world. And that was my motivation.
Do any events like necessarily stand out?
The conflict itself? Only two. First one happened not long after I got there. Machine guns were being sent out on combat patrols, and just before I was going to be sent out on a combat patrol, the patrol before that got ambushed, so they made the decision not to send machine guns out on patrol. The other event, which was much more dramatic, was at the end of the war. I got wounded 3 days before the war was supposed to end. And that was, traumatic, and not just in the sense that I got wounded, but in the sense that the enemy was all over the hill that we were on. It was close-in quarter fighting that went on that night, and so on. So those were the two bookends. In between that time frame, I had spent a lot of time in reserve. I wasn't on the front line the whole 5 months that I was in Korea. The only thing I knew about Korea was because I had read about it in the paper, and I knew that the war had broken out, and that I used to read articles in the paper about how the heat was affecting the tan Yanks that were there. The 24th and the 25th Infantry and the Army units were the ones doing most of the fighting at that time. So just reading about it, but before that, I'd never heard of the place. I haven't been back to Korea since I left. I'm scheduled to go in October, and I'm told that Seoul, for example, rivals New York in terms of building, and I've read about the economy booming and the like. So I'm looking forward to it, because when I was there, I never did get to see anything other than the front lines or our own military posts and stuff like that. So this will be an experience.
And after leaving the Korean War, did you decide to rejoin or stay with the military?
No, I was not allowed because I only had one arm. I had lost my arm at the end of in that combat situation, and at that time, if you could no longer perform what your assigned duties were, you had to leave. And so I was, retired or separated.
I'm sorry about that. But, do you think that the Korean War has changed your mindset for something, or like made you appreciate something?
I don't know. I don't think that the Korean War necessarily did, but my experience in the military. I went from, I guess you could call it, immature youngster to an adult, and an appreciation for life, number one, an appreciation also for other people, other countries, and since that time, you know, I mean, an experience I had. I'm in Heathrow Airport one day. This was maybe a year or two ago, and I'm wearing my Marine Corps hat or Korean veteran hat, and this couple on their honeymoon, Korean, stopped and expressed their gratitude to me as a veteran. That was just powerful. You don't. I didn't see my time in Korea, or I didn't have that perspective that they had for what we did there at that time. I did my time, came home, and went back to, living. But for them for that couple to thank me in that way and ask me to take a photograph with them, that's the lasting impression that I have of